Today is Friday, April 7th. I'm Jordan Bochnowski.
And I'm Dylan Arms.
And you're watching
CTV.
Dance, while being physically demanding, is also highly competitive and can demand a lot from the girls. Here's Rachel with more on the story.
30 million Americans suffer from eating disorders, but the stigma keeps its victims silent. Dance is a means of self-expression and boosts confidence. However, when this outlet becomes corrupted with self-loathing and extreme pressures, dance can facilitate eating disorders.
I've seen dancers that have been told they were fat, and it just discouraged them so much that they started to do things that were super unhealthy.
As we know, it's so prevalent in the dance world that it might not be that they're hiding it, but that they just accept it as part of the culture.
It becomes so normal to me and other girls as well that we don't even think about it. We don't even think about our health. We don't think about any of that because we want to look good in our costume.
It made me kind of like put on these weird goggles that, I don't know, I was looking at myself in a way that people didn't see me.
If everyone around you has the same issues that you do, then none of you really realize like this image we have of ourselves and what we're doing to our bodies isn't healthy, and this isn't what we should be doing.
So I've always had that mindset since I was a little girl that I can never dance professionally if I don't have this body type. And I would go home to my mom crying, and sometimes there'd be points where I wouldn't want to eat, or I couldn't look at myself in the mirror because I'd feel so disgusted at myself.
We as adults have to put a stop to it, and if we don't, then it'll continue, and unfortunately these girls will be affected for the rest of their lives.
El Paso dance instructors work to combat the high rates of eating disorders in the dance world.
As far as teachers here in El Paso, I think, because we all are so close-knit, we all know each other, and that's something that we all talk about, that we don't want anyone to feel alienated because of their size or even their skill. We want passionate people. In the dance world, we have to be careful because there are some teachers out there that are going to put you down. And they shouldn't, and that's something that we need to work on in communicating with each other. And
it's not about what you look like, and it's not just even, who's the better dancer. We don't encourage that. Everybody brings something to the table, and that's something that we talk about. We've had what we call our circle time, and we all sit in a circle, and that's one of the things that the girls were encouraged to do. What is it that you bring to Thunderettes? Why did you want to join? What do you bring to the table?
we just covered the mirrors with dry erase markers to realize that they're just an object. They're just a thing, that we can't give things power.
I tell the girls too, you need to think about your positive aspects. Like, you can dance, you can do this. Like, it doesn't matter how your body looks, look what it can do.
If you surround kids with caring, loving adults, then they kind of just learn to be that also.
Changes in the dance world have opened up more opportunities for dancers of all different body types.
You can't change a culture overnight, and unfortunately, although we are living in a time where a lot of change is happening, it's not happening today.
A lot of people kept this mindset for a long time that the only way to be a dancer, a ballerina, you have to weigh less than 90 pounds. Recently, especially with Misty Copeland, everything has changed, and there's always going to be a certain place that wants that certain type of body, and there's nothing you can do about it except show them that you're better than that and show them that you're able to do exactly what they can do with the body type that you have. We're all different. We all have different abilities. We all have different body types, but there's one thing in common, and that's that we have that want and that drive and that common passion between us all.
If you or someone you know is struggling with an eating disorder, please call the NETA helpline at 1-800-931-2237.
One of our feeder schools, Moorhead Middle School, is getting an IB program to help prepare the students for higher level classes here at Coronado. Here's Sam with more on the story.
Moorhead, a middle school struggling in academics, has taken a positive turn, being the first middle school in El Paso to begin implementing the IB program.
One of the reasons that we started IB at Moorhead is because we feed 100% into Coronado High School. and Coronado offers the diploma program. So why not let our kids be a part of IB as well? We had to submit an application for candidacy, and we have to run our school for a full school year in the candidacy phase. After which we're going to then apply for authorization, and that's going to happen October 1st. So by this time next year, we'll have some people from the IB organization come down and look at the school, and then they'll authorize us as an IB World School.
The IB curriculum is changing the classroom setting by incorporating cross-curriculum learning and more interaction among students.
I really do support the change mainly because of the science background. Science is a huge curriculum that has problem-based learning in it, so having other classes and other classrooms doing similar things that we do, that works out for all of us, because now we actually have items and ideas that can cross curriculums. So where we're doing in math, we can do in reading, we can do in science, we can do in history. So it goes across all the curriculums. The biggest benefit that I see for the IB program is that the students are allowed more freedom with their own education, rather than just following the state given curriculum or just being told what to learn rather than how to learn.
I think it's really fun, and it's a lot more interactive than any other classes I've had. You do a lot more projects and less just straight from the book.
While many students are thriving in this new learning environment, others are struggling to adapt to the change.
There's some challenges that we have faced. It's an entire school-wide program. So every single student on campus is an IB student. And no matter where they come from, what their background or what their learning capabilities are, we have to offer them the IB program.
Students are excited about the change, and many hope to continue their IB career into high school.
Because I think it's a great learning opportunity here in middle school. I think it's going to be better for me in high school that I joined the IB program.
I've had a lot of fun in the IB program, and I definitely want to continue it in high school.
If all goes as planned, by this time next year, Moorhead will be fully authorized and operating as an IB school. This has been Sam Kelly reporting for CTV. Back to you.
After this commercial break, we'll have Aiden with sports.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.
Red light ahead.
I see it.
Logan, you can't be on your phone and driving. That's illegal.
I'm fine.
Logan, slow down. There's a speed bump.
Oops.
That's a horrible parking job.
I thought this was right.
Want to learn from the best? Go to Sun City Driving School located on North Mesa and Colony Cove 2.
This is Aiden with sports. Since we live in a border town, some students struggle with the English language barrier in their respective sports. Here's Jackson Coulter with more on the story.
On our sports teams, there are several students who struggle with the English-Spanish language barrier.
Sí, yo batallo mucho hablando inglés porque mi primer idioma es español y pues soy mexicano y batallo mucho comunicándome con el equipo de tenis.
When I first started, I saw there was a struggle with a couple students as far as the language barrier is concerned. Not so much them communicating to me, but maybe them understanding what I'm communicating to them. I still see it a little bit with, maybe one or two players, which can make it kind of tough, especially when I'm constantly trying to get the same point across. But, I think it's gotten better. And, I understand them more and they understand me a little bit more.
Afecta al equipo porque pues yo hablo mucho español y muchos no pueden entender lo que estoy diciendo.
This issue, however, can affect students who don't speak any Spanish whatsoever.
Since we live in El Paso, a lot of the players speak Spanish, especially in the locker room. And I'm a white dude, so I have no clue what they're talking about really. And I mean, as a team, that kind of leaves me out. So I mean, that doesn't help us bond really.
This barrier also reflects on the students' grades and eligibility to play their sport.
Con la clase que más batallo más es con inglés, porque pues escribiendo essays, pues solamente batallo mucho con eso.
It's definitely difficult to get, maybe one or two players to consistently pass. Them always blaming it on the fact that they didn't understand what was going on, which, come to think of it, that probably wasn't the issue. But yeah, it definitely had a little bit of, it was a little bit of a problem.
Although some students have trouble with the language barrier, they still contribute to Coronado's success.
Aún así, aunque hablo español y los del equipo hablan inglés, siempre tenemos buen tiempo juntos.
This is Jackson Coulter reporting for CTV. Back to you.
In other sports news, the tennis team is having districts this weekend. Also, the track team has a meet this Saturday at Franklin. Lastly, the girls softball team is continuing their undefeated season. That's all for sports. Back to you.
As the population increases and construction is constantly going on, our traffic situation seems to be getting a lot worse. Here's Logan with more on the story.
Construction around El Paso has caused many people to change their daily routines. Although it is recommended to plan ahead, there is no guarantee that there will be no difficulties on the road.
It's been so bad that I've actually been late to a lot of my classes, and I'm a dance major. So being late to my dance classes docks me down a lot of points, and it takes away from my rehearsals and my technique class and what I could improve on.
I've had to leave, my dorm earlier, or I've had to leave my house earlier to go to class because traffic's been so bad, and if I don't leave my house or my dorm at a certain time, I'll be late for my class.
One of the major concerns that we have is getting to the accident scene and being able to provide other emergency services that we could assist with of the parties involved.
Besides students and teachers being late to class, the construction has caused an issue between a doctor and his patient.
I did have a patient that was very ill and had a heart attack and was having chest pain even after his heart attack, which rendered him a very unstable patient and in need of emergency surgery. The problem was that because of the construction delays, a trip that normally would have taken me 15 to 20 minutes to arrive at the hospital took close to 2 hours, and this also affected my whole team. That delay resulted in additional loss of muscle for this patient and made him very, very, very unstable. And ultimately, even despite a successful operation, he passed away several days later.
Although the people of El Paso agree that work needs to be done on the roadways, most don't agree with the way the city is going about doing it.
I think that if we knew ahead of time of what was being closed, and if they gave us alternate routes that we could take to be on time, that would help. Not closing everything at the same time if they did different parts of the freeway or exits at different times.
Instead of just getting all this construction done at one point, just because everything is real clustered in the city, especially on Mesa. There's been so much traffic. So I think if they had spread out all the construction that they're doing around the city and not just doing it at one time.
Not infrequently, you'll see an ambulance that's stuck in traffic. There's no recourses. There's no routes.
Make sure you plan ahead before getting on the road. This has been Logan Kasuki reporting for CTV. Back to you.
From all of us here at CTV,
thanks so much for watching
and have a great weekend.